When Jacob Artist was growing up near Buffalo, New York, he could only dream that one day he'd be singing, dancing, and acting on television. But after winning the role of Jake Puckerman's brother on the hit show Glee, his future career looks like it will be positively gleeful, even if his character does have a few anger issues to work out. Jacob, it's so great to have you here.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
I know that you're Puck's brother on Glee. You are Jake Puckerman. The name is the same.
It is, yeah. I guess it was meant to be a little bit.
A lot of people think that they changed the name after the character to be in time with you, but that's not the case.
No, not the case at all. They, I think it was Jake from day one, ever since they wrote the part. So it's pretty cool. They have the same name as the character.
That's incredible. And your actual name, growing up, has always been Jacob Artist.
Yes. People never ever believe me. They're like, there's no possible way that's your last name, and I have to like pull out a birth certificate, and I'm like, I swear it is real. Yeah.
I love it. And you are a proud Buffalo citizen.
Yes. Yep.
You talk a lot about that here on your Twitter. You have "See ya Buffalo." I've had enough Tim Hortons not to tweet about it every fifth tweet. Yep. Maybe back to LA.
Yeah, Tim Hortons. Have you ever by chance been to Canada or Buffalo?
I have been to Canada. I've heard of Tim Hortons. For people who don't know about it.
Yes, it's so good. It's this incredible like coffee shop that now has become a whole franchise, and they have amazing coffee and donuts, and yeah, it's great. Love it.
It's a lot different from the LA juice factories.
Yeah, a little bit. Not so much vegan stuff, a little bit more donuts and things like that. Yeah.
Well, growing up, your life must have been way different than it is now.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. I'm from the suburbs of Buffalo, and it was kind of a quiet little town, and I never really thought that I would be in Los Angeles doing this, I don't think.
But you definitely aspired to stardom. It's just to be on Glee. It's not like this came out of the blue. You gave up quite a bit.
I did, yeah. I grew up actually as a dancer my whole life, and that's kind of what I did from day one. So when I transitioned into the acting, it was kind of a totally new thing that I just really fell in love with.
And so before Glee, what was your path?
My path before Glee, I had been in LA for a little bit, and I was just kind of auditioning and doing some smaller projects here and there, and then Glee kind of came up, and I loved the show, so I was like hyperventilating the day that I got that email. But yeah, that's what I was doing before.
And I know that a lot of times you think you graduate from high school and the first step is college, but you chose to come to Los Angeles.
I did, yeah. I took a little bit of a different route, yeah.
And you had auditioned for a very prestigious school.
I did. When I was a senior in high school, I actually got accepted into Juilliard for dance. And I had to turn it down, ultimately, to come to LA to pursue the acting. So.
Was that a hard decision?
Definitely, absolutely. Because it was so kind of out of left field that I all of a sudden wanted to be an actor. But my parents have been so supportive from day one, and they eventually came around, so yeah.
And at first you were wondering, because you are a triple threat. And for people who don't know what a triple threat is, what does that mean?
It is somebody who dances, acts, and sings.
And of all of the shows to be placed on?
Glee is definitely the triple threat show, yeah.
Well, let's take a look at your wonderful role as Jake Puckerman on Glee.
Let's do it. You are like some kind of love genius. Do you spend all your time watching Lifetime? Marley has a wicked case of Puckerman fever. I just need one more act of romantic awesomeness to make the condition fatal.
Do you think maybe just one of these gifts should be your idea?
No, my ideas suck. I mean, I tried to write her a poem, and the only words that I could come up with to rhyme with Marley was barley and gnarly.
Yeah. It's a heart pendant from the jeweler at the mall. It's pretty, but it's not too expensive, so she won't think you stole it.
Okay, I'm going to ignore the subtly racist overtones of that comment because you are my hero.
Oh, you're so many heroes yourself. Yeah. We have some fun comments here. Silver Dixon, he's so cute. And then we have a multifaceted comment here also. How is it to work with Melissa? You guys have amazing chemistry.
Oh, well, thank you. She's great. She has made this whole thing so much more fun and so much easier. We still talk about how we feel like we were just cast, and now here we are in like episode 18, and we're almost done with the season, and it's been so amazing.
Were you nervous your first day on the shoot?
Absolutely. The first day of shooting for me, actually, my scene was in the choir room where I meet my older brother, Puck, for the first time. And it was kind of this big scene that I was so nervous. I think I got like 2 hours of sleep the night before. And it turned out to be really fun. And the crew and the cast were all so welcoming and so friendly, and it made it so much easier than it could have been.
You're ridiculously talented, but you're also surrounded by some phenomenal voices.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
It can be very stressful. Were you afraid the first time you had to sing your solo?
Oh, of course, yeah. Because singing was nothing that I ever really kind of grew up performing with or anything. And I remember that first day, I was actually backstage with Melissa because she came out and sang a song. I came out and sang a song in that first episode, and we were both just kind of like, here we go. And then we just kind of did it, and it was so surreal.
And a lot of people are wondering, are we going to see you dance?
You will see me dance, yeah. We actually just shot a really, really cool dance number that I don't think I can say any more than that, but it's you will definitely get to see me kind of go all for it, yeah, with the dancing.
Well, you can't talk about the dance that's coming up, but you can talk about your dance past.
Yeah.
You were really into ballet.
I was, yeah. I started actually at a competition studio when I was very young, and so I kind of did jazz, tap, acro, ballet, and everything. And then as I got older, I really kind of fell in love with the ballet world, and I kind of opened my eyes to it, which I never really had before, and focused a lot heavier on that in high school.
Were there many boys in ballet where you were growing up in Buffalo?
There were, I grew up, actually, there was one other guy that we were kind of the same age, so we were always kind of buddies there, but there weren't a whole lot. When I would do summer intensive programs or things like that, there was always a bunch of other guys there, but yeah.
Because one of the things we talk about a lot here on Huffpost Live, and our teen viewers really appreciate, we talk about bullying, and you definitely stepped outside of the box of what was normal for a teenage boy in Buffalo.
Absolutely, yeah. Because I played baseball, actually, and I was on a swim team till I was about 14, and I really, really loved the dance, and I just kind of had to go for it, regardless of if I thought people weren't gonna like it or accept it. But I was really actually very fortunate because my whole community and friends and family all were very accepting of it. So.
What advice do you have for other guys who might want to really get into dance but are afraid of their community not accepting it?
I would say absolutely pursue it 100%. I think just in general, pursue your dreams, because I think the sky really is the limit, and if you just go for it, anything can happen.
Well, we have some people who have so many more questions for you. They're big fans of the show. They're big fans of you, starting with Courtney Jameson in Richmond, Virginia, and Jamie and Deborah Kerner. They're in Rye Brook, New York. Welcome, ladies.
Hello.
Hey.
How's it going?
We are so excited to have you. I know that when I posted on Facebook that you were coming on, within minutes, you said, I want to join. And Jamie, your mom is your biggest fan, and she knew that you had so many questions for Jacob.
What was your question?
Well, you can ask whatever questions you want.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I'm also interested in pursuing a career in television and in film, musical theater. What are some of the things that you learned or found to be the most beneficial in your journey to success?
I think if you have the passion for it, that will continuously be the driving force. And I think if it's something that you really love and that you're very serious about, that's all you need to really kind of get you through and get the things rolling that you need to get rolling.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
It definitely. Believe me, I know how scary it is, but I can't stress enough, just really go for it, because if you love it, you'll be able to do it.
You had to have so many people to tell you that you were crazy.
Oh, absolutely. Yep, definitely. Yep. I mean, everybody was like, wait a minute, you're not dancing anymore? You're going to start acting? What? Are you crazy? But I had to do it. I don't think I could have gone to Juilliard or kind of lived the rest of my life thinking what would have happened had I gone to LA and done it. So.
And one of the things that in this industry that you realize that you always have a guardian angel. Someone in the industry is watching over you. It's just that lucky person. Who is that person for you that just said, you know what, you can be a star?
But definitely my manager. I would say he was the first kind of person of the whole industry that I ever met, and I actually met him while I was still in Buffalo. And he just, from day one, has been so great. I'm sure if he's watching this, he's probably smiling.
How did you meet your manager?
Through actually a girl who I kind of grew up dancing with. I had heard that she was actually in LA and she was trying to switch to the whole acting thing, and I just messaged her one day, I think on Facebook, and she kind of hooked me up with him really graciously, and yeah, it just kind of went from there.
You hear that, Courtney? So you got to keep up with your friends. Facebook got you.
Get on that Facebook. Yep.
So are you basically saying Facebook got you on Glee?
Yes, Facebook got me on Glee. There we go.
I love it. I love it. Jamie, what's your question for Jacob?
Hi.
Hello.
So, what's it like being a new member of the cast of Glee?
It's so much fun. I will say I was very stressed out in the beginning because I had been a fan of the show and I was so nervous to kind of just be in that whole environment with them. But it's It's been really fun. I think all of us new kids have kind of bonded over experiencing this whole thing for the first time. So it's been great. Really
Do they
fun.
rag on you as the new kid on the block? Do they pull pranks and stuff on you?
They do, not so much designated just for the new kids. I think just in general, pranks are always happening. Like I remember Cord got one of these little like plugs that goes on an exhaust pipe on a car, and when you drive, it makes this like loud beeping noise. And he put it, I think, on Becca Tobin's car, who plays Kitty. She had no clue, like freaking out, like pacing around her car in the parking lot. So funny.
Courtney, do you have another question?
I do. Let's move a little bit away from, I guess, like the theater aspect or like film, and let's talk about some comic books.
Okay.
So I know there are a lot of superhero movies coming out, and it's becoming very popular. My brother and I always talk about them and everything. So choose wisely: Marvel or DC Comics.
I'm gonna say Marvel because I love X-Men.
Good choice.
Yep,
Good choice.
X-Men, that I grew up kind of with that, and I loved all the films and even the new one that just came out, so definitely Marvel for me.
Is there a specific character that you could see yourself playing in the future?
You know what? I think then if I answer that question, I would have to switch to DC, because Green Lantern is DC, right?
Yeah.
The Green Lantern, because I remember in the cartoon there was this Green Lantern guy who was like a boss, and I definitely want to play him at some point.
And I think the beauty of it, you and Jamie and Courtney, you're all so young, and it's such a different vibe growing up.
Yeah.
And I know that maybe your parents' generation, they might not have thought that someone like you could say, oh, yes, you can be the Green Lantern. But that's not true for this generation.
Yeah, totally. I think this generation has kind of opened so many doors. I know even for me growing up, it was a lot of like, blonde-haired, blue-eyed kids that I saw on TV, and I don't think I ever really thought it was possible. And then now here I am on Glee, and it's crazy.
It's totally crazy.
Yeah,
well,
nice.
Jamie is definitely a big fan. Jamie, are you a big Gleek?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been watching the beginning. And I love the new cast now.
Oh, thank you.
They're so talented.
Thank you so much.
Do you have any more questions?
Yeah. What was the audition process like?
I auditioned, I was in LA at the time, and I remember I got this email saying, okay, you have an audition for Glee, and like I said, I love the show, so it definitely added an extra layer of pressure, and then I went in a few times, and I remember at the very end, we got the audition materials very late, so I think I got maybe 1 hour of sleep, and then I had to be staring Ryan Murphy in the face with my puffy eyes looking like a zombie and be like, I'm here to sing for you. So it was crazy. It was a whirlwind for sure, but memorable to say the least.
That's so cool.
Did you know you were going to get the part of Jake, or did you try out for another part?
I actually, when I first auditioned, it was kind of like a general audition. I didn't really know if it was going to be Jake or Brody, the character. And then on my first callback, they kind of identified that they wanted me to keep reading for Jake. So that's when I knew for that.
That's so cool. Well, definitely people love your character, and they love you. Look at this. Journalista, everyone is in love with him. I think another thing people want to know, are you in love with anybody?
Am I in love with anybody? Not at the moment. I think the task at hand right now is finding a girl that will deal with our crazy Glee schedule. But no, I am single right now.
You're single right now. What type of girl do you normally go for?
Type of girl? I would say, if you're in the ballpark of Blake Lively, you're pretty much set in my eyes, I would say. She's kind of, I say it all the time, she's like my celebrity crush. She probably thinks I'm stalking her at this point. But yeah, anything in that realm.
Have you ever communicated with her?
I haven't met her or seen her at anything yet.
Have you tweeted at her?
Does she have a Twitter?
Probably.
I will get on that. If she does have a Twitter, I'll have to go for that.
Because we're all on Twitter. We've been tweeting about this segment all day.
She must be. Everyone's on Twitter.
Everyone's on Twitter. Courtney, do you have another question?
I do. Okay. I'm looking at my little question sheet. So what kind of things do you like to do in your free time? Like, I know that you guys are, regular people, you like to do things, so.
Yeah. I'm from New York, where, the winters obviously are freezing, and I think being in LA and being around all this sunny and beachy weather is something that I definitely love to take advantage of. So I really enjoy going to like Santa Monica or Venice and kind of walking around or chilling on the beach and with friends, doing things like that. So.
That's incredible.
That's awesome.
I know. I mean, I love it too. It's really nice. It's definitely a far cry from winter on
That's
the
for
East
sure.
Coast.
Yeah.
And you've been all over. You've not just been in Los Angeles and Santa Monica and Venice, but you've been across the world. We have a comment from Attila Shamira. Shout out to Jacob on behalf of his Indonesian fans. We love and adore you so much. When will you be coming back to Indonesia?
Oh, hopefully
What were you in Indonesia
soon.
for?
Yeah, I was in Indonesia the summer of 2011. I was shooting a film called The Philosophers. And we were in Jakarta and kind of going all over the country, and it was beautiful over there. And I'd love to get back because I had so much fun. So hopefully soon, hopefully.
I mean, there's so many things you want to do. Obviously, if you were planning on going to Juilliard, a career in the serious arts, not that film and TV is not serious, but to a certain person, the serious arts are what you prepare for when you're preparing for a career on Broadway. And like, is that something that you still aspire to be on Broadway, or?
Yeah, definitely. I think it'd be a really cool experience. I know Becca Tobin on the show, who plays Kitty, is actually from Broadway, and she kind of has been in and around that world for a while, and she says that she really loved it and she misses it. So I definitely would love to try that out for a bit.
Well, we're glad that you're trying out Glee right now. Another Glee question, Jamie. What do you have that you want to talk to Jacob about?
If you didn't go to California and you went to Juilliard instead, where do you think you would be right now?
I would be finishing up my 3rd year at Juilliard. Probably just dancing, enjoying the city. I love New York City. That's the one thing I regret, is that I didn't get to live in New York City for 4 years, because that's my favorite place. So.
Do you feel that, did your parents come out here with you?
Yeah, actually, I have a late birthday, so when I graduated high school, I was still 17, and when I moved here, I was still 17. And my parents were like, you know, somebody has to go with you. We can't just send our 17-year-old across country. So my dad came out with me for the first few months and kind of got me set up, which was incredible, because I'd probably be on the side of the road somewhere if it wasn't for them. Yeah.
Did he quit work and come out here?
He actually was retired, so he was lucky enough that he had the opportunity to come with me and not have to miss out on work.
At first, though, as a 20-year-old, you can recognize that that's awesome. That had to be kind of a bummer, though, at first. You were like,
Yeah, you know, to be honest, I have always been really, really close with my parents, and I was actually really nervous when he was leaving. I was like, what am I going to do? I'm losing my buddy. But I've actually enjoyed living by myself a lot now. It's kind of nice having that sense of freedom and independence to just kind of do whatever you want. So.
Courtney, you know what that feels like, right?
Oh, I do. College is awesome.
Living by yourself is awesome. Really quickly, Courtney, before you ask your question, I have to ask, what's the best thing about living by yourself?
Oh, man. I guess getting away with not making your bed every day. No one to report to. You could just kind of be like, oh, I don't feel like doing it today. Off to work, off to Glee.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. Courtney, what's your next question?
All right. Well, I know I get a lot of inspiration from different movies that I watch. So I try to keep a list of my favorite movies. I was wondering if you have a top 3 at the moment.
A top 3.
Yeah, I know it's hard.
At the moment, I'm a big David Fincher fan right now. I actually have to check out that House of Cards on Netflix, because I heard it's really cool, and he directed all the episodes. I love The Social Network. You know, I just watched it a few days ago, and that just kind of all really came together flawlessly. I loved that film, one of my favorites. Top 3? That's hard. It's always changing, I feel like, to be honest. Yeah.
That's why I say at the moment, yeah.
I guess as an artist, it's ever changing because you watch everything. You have to keep up with what's going on.
Totally, yeah, you got to be current, for sure.
Well, people are definitely keeping up with what's going on with you, Lindsay Campbell. Jacob, you're so talented. What has been your favorite song to cover on Glee?
Oh, I loved, very early on, I did a duet with Melissa, which was like a Britney Spears mashup with Crazy, which I really, really loved. It was kind of acoustic and stripped down with the guitar. And I really, really enjoyed, most recently, Let Me Love You with the piano. That was really cool. I got really lucky with that arrangement. So.
How did you pick your audition song, which actually ended up being featured?
Yeah, I had been familiar with that song for years, and I really loved it, and I was kind of in the process of figuring out what songs I had to sing for this whole audition thing. And I was like, I really love it. I think I should just kind of go for it. And then they ended up writing it in that first episode, which was really cool.
Well, I love it. Well, one last comment. Please, please follow me on Twitter. I'm your biggest fan. I'm sure you get that a lot. But if you give Rachel Bloomey a shout out, I know she'd appreciate it.
I'll do a shout out right after this, I promise.
Well,
Will
thank
do.
you so much for coming on and chatting with us. We've had a great time.
Thank
Ladies,
you
did
for
you have
so
fun?
much for having me.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Great meeting you guys.
Courtney, you're going to be here on the hot seat and the couch soon enough.
Hopefully, yeah.
And thank you so much. Best of luck to all of you. Best of luck
Bye,
to you.
guys.
Can't
Thank
wait
you
to
so
watch more
much.
of you on Glee.
Thank you.
And thank you all for watching. Remember that you can be a part of the conversation as well. Just click on our red Be an On-Air Guest button. It's on the right. As you know, the conversation never ends here on Huffpost Live.